Hey guys, morning. Hope you guys are doing all right. We're on our third lesson of this distance learning. So today I'm going to draw for you the plant cell. Okay, so I'll first give you the title. If you want to draw along with me, you are more than welcome to do that. Now, here's the good news. The plant cell has everything that the animal cell has, okay? But it has more parts. So if I was to ask you what's got more parts, an animal cell or a plant cell, you would tell me the plant cell. But for our purposes today, I am not going to redraw every single cell part because you know what they look like already and you know what they do. So I'm going to draw for you basically the new things, okay? So we're going to follow along with the notes, and as you can see, I gave you the definition with plant cell, that it is very easy to identify because it is a square or rectangular shape. If you recall, for the animal cell, it is round. So now we're talking about square or rectangle. And the first thing I'm going to do, it looks like I'm making a beautiful picture of rectangles inside each other. But the deal is you have a double layer for the plant cell. And this one here, this first one, I'm going to label as number 1, is your cell wall. It's the rigid structure that surrounds the plant cell. And wow, we're back to that adjective rigid. I'll jog your memories. Before we left, we were talking about the lithosphere. I said it was a rigid portion of land, and I asked you guys, what do you think rigid means? And I took out the meter stick, whacked it on the table, and eventually it broke because it is rigid. It will not break. Well, your cell membrane, okay, all around, is very rigid. It's made up of something called cellulose, which is plant sugar, and it's tough. It has to protect the actual cell. It will allow things to move in and out along with the cell membrane, which I will label for you here. That's number 2. This is, again, your cell membrane. But they have to work together. Nucleus definitely is responsible for that, but they're selectively permeable, both of them. But the difference is the cell membrane is not rigid, but the cell wall is very rigid. Getting through it is tough. It needs it for protection and strength. And so we're going to move on. Of course, there's some cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, remember, is mostly found in the animal cell. But, excuse me, you still have, I'll put in the nucleus, okay? Has all the parts that we talked about. Yeah, it even has some chromosomes, but we don't have to go through all of that again. I want to get to the differences. So I'll even write nucleus for you there. How does that sound? Okay. Now, let's talk vacuoles. When we did the vacuoles for the animal cell, yeah, they were kind of tiny because we use our materials very quickly. Plant cells, not so much. Plant cells have very, very large vacuoles. Okay. This would be a vacuole here. Here's a vacuole here. Okay. And notice how big I drew them. They have to store a lot of water, because plants use a lot of water after, especially photosynthesis, which we will get to in just a little bit. But when the vacuoles are swollen, it makes the plant cell straight and very tight. So that if you're looking to buy a plant, especially this time of year, you're not going to want to buy a plant that's wilted and hanging down. You want to buy a plant that needs a lot of water and it is held up upright. So when these are filled to capacity, you have a very happy, straight plant. But when the plant's using water and the vacuoles are not getting filled to capacity, the plant is going to wilt, and again, it'll eventually die if you don't give it water. So the vacuoles are quite large. And then the interesting thing about the plant cell is that most plant cells are green. I am not going to tell you every single plant cell is green because you need chlorophyll to make them green. But what I'm drawing for you now, they look like I sometimes call them little footballs, okay? This is going to be labeled number 3, meaning, meaning the outer edge, okay? The outer edge is number 3. These are your chloroplasts. Now, technically, they're going to be holding the chlorophyll, absolutely, okay? All these are number 3, okay? But if you took the chlorophyll out, they're technically clear. They're really clear. But you need a structure to hold the chlorophyll. And so, here we go. I saved my green one. What gets filled inside the chloroplast, we're going to label it number 4 in just a second, is going to be your chlorophyll. Let the words work for you. Chlorophyll fills the chloroplast. Okay? Now, number 4. And here, we'll put number 4 here too. Okay, that's inside the chloroplast. Chlorophyll is a pigment. Okay, when you slide on the grass and you get a grass stain, you have chlorophyll on your pants. Okay, chlorophyll traps sunlight for photosynthesis. This is where the plant is going to get its food. Now, you would not have chlorophyll in the roots of a plant, and some stems aren't green. You know, they could be like bark on a tree. They won't go through photosynthesis. Obviously, the sun's not going to go through the dirt for the roots, and it's not going to go through bark. But anything that is green, especially the leaves of the plant, is going to have a lot of chlorophyll. It traps that sunlight and produces food for the plant. It produces sugar. Okay? It takes our carbon dioxide with the sunlight, makes food, and gives off oxygen. So the main differences between the plant cell and the animal cell, well, first is shape. Okay? Second is going to be color, because most plant cells are green. Our animal cells are clear. If we were doing a lab, we would have to stain our animal cells, which is what would be for iodine. I always tell you, don't wear your good clothes for that. They have extremely large vacuoles. Ours are very tiny. And, of course, the cell wall. The cell wall protects that plant cell. Animal cells don't need that. Okay? So that's the main difference between the animal cell and the plant cell. Again, everything I drew that was in the animal cell is in the plant cell. Okay? So that concludes all the organelles. And now we're just going to have to put it all together with the video. All right? So that's going to be it. And I really hope you guys are doing well. Hopefully we'll get a chance to be in the classroom again together soon. All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.